Hello, I am Reverend Penny Honey. Welcome to Unity of Flagstaff. Thanks for tuning in here at our YouTube channel. You can see all of the previous messages from our Sunday celebrations right here on this YouTube channel. Thank you again. All the information you ever wanted to know about the ministry, of course, can be found on our website at www.unityofflagstaff.org. You can donate there. You can check out everything that's going on. Lots happening. For instance, this Friday is First Friday, so we have an open mic night. We welcome poets, storytellers, musicians, stand-up comic. We love it all, so come on out. That's 7 o'clock here at the center at 1800 South Milton, Suite 103. Come out and join us. There are refreshments, and we have a good time. A lot of talent here in Flagstaff, so come out and enjoy that, won't you? And I also want to invite you we are having a Bring Your Soft Clothing drive here to Unity of Flagstaff. We're doing a fundraiser with Savers where we'll be paid 20 cents a pound, and we're looking for clothing, linens, towels, sheets, things of that nature. No electronics, just clothing, soft items. So bring them here. If you need to arrange a time to drop them off, if you can't drop them off on a Sunday, just give us a call here at 928-526-8893, and we will set that up with you. Thank you again. It's our July fundraiser here at Unity of Flagstaff, so thank you for that. And again, everything you want to know that's going on, just check us out at the website at www.unityofflagstaff.org. Thank you. So today, we're doing it a little differently. We didn't have live stream available. There were some glitches with YouTube. We love technology when it works. So thank you for your patience. Today, the message is action. We live the truth we know. Unity principle number 5. We live the truth we know. So last week was about what do you see? We learned that we see with our brains, not our eyes. And this week I'm inviting you into, and once you see it, what are you doing about it? Action, the Webster definition, of course, is the fact or process of doing something. That's according to Webster. And motion. The definition of motion is the process of moving, not necessarily with outcome. Alan Watts, in his book Meaning of Happiness, reminds us that action is actually the expression. It's not the gaining something. It's the expression of moving forward. And as I like to say, I penny phrased it. What I say is action is the expression of the potential that we are willing to see. And we are infinite, by the way, so we get to see that as big as we choose. Action speaks louder than words, and much more often do the words speak than action is taken, Mark Twain reminds us. Action is putting feet on our prayers, is what my Grandma Maine would like to say. And our first step of action is to see the potential. To see with our brains. Take a deep breath, create space within, and allow room for the divine within us. And it is within everyone. And this, my friends, starts with a moment. Speaking, I like to propose, is motion. We're stirring things up. We're moving energy. We're offering up possibilities. I'm in motion as I'm speaking to you. However, action is listening, where we actually remember and hear the potentiality of the moment and in the moment. When we listen to that knowing within, this is where the directive of action begins, and this is where miracles happen. And they're all around us all the time. I think of that line in the Peter Mayer song, Holy Now, where he says the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. I offer this up to you. 2 minutes a day. 2 minutes a day. Meditation. I keep saying it. Principle number 3, just 2 minutes of listening to the innate wisdom that resides within each of us. This opens the way, as Parker Palmer likes to put it in his book, Let Your Life Speak. Again, there are factors, mental health, physical health factors. These are all things that we seek extra support around. These are things that can impede seeing the potential in a moment or in a situation. And yes, they can. And we have to do our part about those. It's in these moments where community and friends, people who love us, come in. We get the support we need, and we collaborate with our divine potential that is within us, within each of us. And addressing those things or working through, and we're working with our divine potential. I say this from experience. It's possible to see the potential, the possibility in every situation, eventually. And of course, it is the eventual that we struggle with. This past week, I was preparing for a meeting with a volunteer coordinator at the Flagstaff Family Food Center. And I could feel the potential of angst building in me as I was preparing for this meeting. It was just people stuff. You know, I kind of let my mama bear kick in to protect my volunteers when some of them felt just uncomfortable at our last time of volunteering at the Flagstaff Family Food Center. I could feel myself getting loaded for bear for this meeting. There's a lot of emotion going on inside of me. And then I had to review what we talked about last week. What do you see, Penny, in this situation? And then I had to overlay that with today's message about action, living the truth we know. So I took 2 minutes to remember. Before going in to talk to this wonderful, amazing, beautiful volunteer coordinator at Flagstaff Family Food Center, I took 2 minutes. I gave myself 2 minutes to see the potential in the situation, the miracle, if you will. Ever missed miracles because you were so busy moving? I know I have. And even if you're justified, you still miss the miracle. To see the miracles all around us, within us, we start by seeing the potential in every moment. Course in Miracles describes a miracle as this: a correction in perception. The gift of transformed perception is a miracle. A correction in perception is a miracle. Gives you miracles, creates miracles, and makes them apparent in your life. It all matters in the experience that you have of whatever it is that's in front of you. In that 2 minutes, I remembered the number of years that Unity of Flagstaff has served at Family Food Center. Over 3,600 meals just last year this community served. I stopped being in motion, and I started seeing the action of what it is that we do, and the actions that I could take to align with living the truth that I know. That each one is a divine being. That all that people stuff and any kind of angst that might be happening around that, mine was to see the potential in it. In that 2 minutes, I began to affirm the potential, the infinite potential of how many solutions were available in that simple situation. I stopped moving toward my perfect solution and made room for higher thought. The resolve was not only really cool, but it was life-giving, it was affirming, and it was humbling. Such a fine young being at the helm of the volunteer program at Flagstaff Family Food Center. Such a joy to get to work with such wisdom, young, wise, and loving. I love the way this stuff works. Action does not require us to run into a solution. Action invites us to see the potential, the divine potential. Conscious, guided, intuitive action. Anywhere in your life this could be handy? Yes, but Penny, that's just a minor blip, and that's a tiny little incident, and that's not that big of a deal. I have really important stuff in my life. I can hear that. My question is, what kind of resolution could you find in your life in these conditions if you took 2 minutes to consider the potential within the situation, the potential of your divine self in this? What would that potential do? Ask yourself that question this week. What would potential, the divine potential within me and the situation, what would it do? We see the experience we're having and we bring it into expression. We have that power. However, it's of very little value if we don't put it into action. I propose that if we do not seek the highest potential in ourselves and the conditions in our lives and all others around us, that we're just doing a lot of moving around. It's a lot of motion. We're talking about putting feet on our prayers. But are we stepping on our own feet by being in so much motion and not considering the action of seeing the potential in the moment? Action versus motion. I have a funny story. At least I think it's funny. It's about a hummingbird feeder. I had a friend, and he was complaining that he just hadn't had any success with the hummingbirds at his house. So I asked all the questions, what's your mix and what's the location of the feeder? And so he walks me into his appliance room, takes the box off the top shelf, takes the hummingbird feeder out of the box, and says, I don't know why I don't have hummingbirds. The motion, buying the feeder, moving it from the kitchen to the appliance room to the garage and back to the appliance room. A lot of motion, but not a lot of action. It was a miracle. I took it out of the box. I actually put hummingbird food in it. I hung it on a shepherd's hook, and it was amazing. The hummingbirds showed up. Now, this is not to highlight my very powerful and unique way of being in the world. This is about motion versus action. Action, the expression of our potential. Not just motion and talking about what is possible. And I love to do that. But action, the expression of our potential. Now we start to activate miracles in our lives. And I wasn't sure about speaking about this, but Unity of Flagstaff has had a little financial bump here. A little glitch in our financial projections. And I realized this week, after mulling this over and thinking in all this motion of all these ideas and all this possibility and all of those things, which are all good exercises. But I realized what I had forgotten to do was to see the potential in this community. See the potential in the individuals that support this community. So I apologize for not giving you enough credit, for not seeing the infinite potential within this community to sustain, maintain, and move forward at the level that we desire to do that in. I apologize, and I ask you, where in your life do you need to apologize for not seeing your own potential? Where in life do you need to say, wait a minute, sorry about that. I forgot that you're divine. I forgot that you were infinite. Where in your life would that make a difference? To see the potential and to act from there. So I commit to seeing it differently and activating the action that we are in this community. And when we start to see that, we'll see things change. When the community remembers the good work that we do, the lives that we impact, how our own lives are impacted, things will change. And in this remembering, the action will be activated. And I bring this up because, well, it needs to be brought up, and because it's real, it's tangible, it's life. Are there places in your life where you continue to just speak about the conditions and experiences? Are you making a lot of motion but not taking a lot of action? Start to take the action to move to a higher consciousness in your life, to see your potential and the potential of others around you. Perhaps we'll start to see real change in our lives, in this ministry, and in the world. Every person has within them untapped potential. The key to unlocking that potential lies in the belief in themselves. That's what Charles Fillmore reminds us of. To hold a higher thought, to look for the potential, to see the potential, and know and remember everything is a miracle. You are the truth, the light, and the way. And it's about action. It's about being action, taking action, doing something that brings forward the good, the God expression that we all are by divine right. Things will not only move, they will change. Where in your life, where in our world could action make a difference? The realization of the potential that we are. Where in the world could conscious, guided, intuitive action make a difference? 2 minutes. Consider the potential of your life and that within others. 2 minutes. Consider the potential in this community and in the world. Listen for the voices of potential in your life. Let's do something because we are people of action and we live the truth that we know. Namaste, my friends. Again, www.unityofflagstaff.org. You can find out about this community and all that we are involved in and all that we do. Blessings. Namaste.